Okay, before the video starts, I do want to mention something. The audio doesn't sound great, and I believe that's because I am back home now. I don't have a very large room, but I have a very tall room in my house. It is like incredibly tall. I would guess at like 15, maybe a little bit more feet. It makes no sense. It's about as tall as it is wide. Whatever. But I think that's providing a little bit of an echo, which I'll try and fix. I don't know if I can fix. There might just be kind of terrible audio for the next couple of months. I'll do my best. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you in a second. Hello, everybody. This is Andy, and welcome to episode 10 of Celestial Journey. And it's super early in the morning. It's 9 a.m. that the day this video is supposed to go out. And I'm recording right now. I have about 3 hours to record, and then an hour to upload, and an hour to edit. So, yeah. I made the Petal Apothecary. The rest of its components were fairly simple. I just had to craft them up and do a little bit of work on the Blood Altar. And now we need to set up a little bit of an area for Botania. And the way that I want to do that is using the Destruction Gadget, because it clears out large swaths of area incredibly quickly, and that's what I enjoy. I think I've mentioned this before. This is not a base mod in this mod pack. It's actually something I added because I enjoy the building, exchanging, and destruction gadgets because they just make life a little bit easier. And since I'm not actually building houses in this pack, I see no reason to, force myself to learn how to use the Builder's Wand or any of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we're cheating a little bit. Just a little bit, though. The Destruction Gadget destroys, and this Exchanging Gadget will replace all of this with dirt, so I don't have to think it's super disgusting over here, just kind of weirdly, level, which is fine with me. Weirdly level is kind of the move. And there we go. How wonderful. Some space for botany. I don't know where the Petal Apothecary is going to live, but for now, I guess I'm just going to line it up with the center of this thing, and we'll give it some water, and make our first petal, which is supposed to be the pure daisy, but I threw away my white petals into the ME system, so I will make 2 of those. That's 8 flowers. I also need a couple of seeds, vanilla seeds. Please just put them on my cursor. 4 of those, 1 of those, and then you got to fill it back up with water. And we're going to set up the automation for the pure daisies exactly the same way I did as in all the mod 6, except I'm going to use 2 of them because I believe the demand for living wood and living rock is incredibly high in this pack. So we're going to have formation planes on the bottom. We're going to need to push wood into this system, so we'll push into a drawer, I suppose, and then we'll need to provide a storage bus for the exchanged block on the opposite top system. So let me throw that together just a little bit, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I just spent 5 minutes of very crucial time figuring out, hey, why is this not powering this system? I put an energy cell here, it's not getting any power. What's going on? I also changed it out so I'm only using 7 here because I need to use an importer on the bottom, and I don't feel like messing around and making it do all 8. So yeah, we're doing 7 at a time instead of 8. Oh no, laws of efficiency. Anyways, turns out you have to plug your machines in. I forget to do this constantly. Less constantly than some other people, but constantly. So now we should see that 1 block placed. Placed. What? Okay, I'm having another issue. These formation planes, actually, just let me show you. If I place it down, you can hear that. It tries to place, but for some reason, it's entirely unable to. I've tried breaking most things, and it still doesn't work. And the sound just kind of hurts my head. I'm not quite sure why they're not placing properly. I can set a filter, see if that changes anything. I doubt it changes anything, though. Priority 1. No? Doesn't appear to change anything. There should be no formation planes above this guy breaking the block immediately, and anyways, these things aren't even powered. So I'm not sure what's up. Okay, so weird thing with drawers apparently in this pack. The formation plane can detect the items are there, but refuses to place it. Weird. I mean, I guess I'm glad I found the problem. So we just have to use a chest now. Perfectly fine with me. I will definitely live. I'm gonna set up the other one, and I'll be right back. And there we go, the first big automation for the day. And it took a little while to set up entirely because I was messing around with things. However, now that it's done, we will just have a ton of living wood and living rock for all of our needs. So, now that we've got that out of the way, we could go ahead and set up an automation for the petal apothecary, but I think we'll do that later. So why don't we... Ooh, I am gonna need projectile bases here. Do I have vitriol? I do have vitriol. Wait. Yeah, I think I can just make this. And I have the Eden fragments. Okay. Runic altar. Is this viable yet? No, we need wildwood. Let me take a look. Next things next, I think we're gonna set up some flower automation, or at least flower semi-automation. I'll still probably make the mystical fertilizer on my own and just kind of shove it in there. But basically, this is an auto breaker for things on the ground. All these just kind of finished. Oh yeah, I never finished this. I need to export stone and wood into these. I'll do that in just a moment. So we need to use a mechanical user to place bone meal on this grass, and then we can, you know, harvest the flowers with a vacuum chest. All right. If I'm not mistaken, this should work. Let me explain it just a little bit. So we have our mechanical user here, which will place floral fertilizer after the end of the tick on this side. So we're gonna have a redstone signal pulsing this first, and then it will pulse these, and then after that it will come back, and these blocks will be in their normal position, and we'll pulse this. And then these will get pulsed again. They'll push the blocks, and the flowers that are placed should break, and then we'll collect them in the vacuum hopper. I broke these by hand just to make sure the vacuum hopper has enough range, and I believe it does. So we should be good to test it out. I put 24 floral fertilizers in there, and if I just change that, we should see it start working. So we're going to have one cycle without flowers, and then a cycle with flowers, and then another cycle with flowers. It looks like it's using more than one floral fertilizer per go, which is actually fine with me. Like, it's not completely filling up the stage here, so we should be perfectly fine. And we've used 10, and we're getting a ton of flowers, and it's trying to collect more flowers than it has slots for. So I need to output to some side somewhere. This way? Yep. Okay, I'm going to make a drawer system for the flowers. Okay, there we go. That's the drawer system, and I've also connected it up to the ME network so we can see all our flowers on our normal ME system. This is going to be beneficial because we're going to want auto-crafting of the petal apothecary at some point, and it'll help us make floral fertilizer without having to be in severe amounts of pain all the time. Speaking of floral fertilizer, I think I'm going to throw maybe another stack into here with the flowers that I've gained, and, you know, then we'll take it from there. And while that thing's going, chugging along, making a ton of noise. Also, I realize it's not the most efficient. We have flowers spawning on the outside. There are some flowers I believe that this thing just can't reach. And, you know, we're just gonna accept the inefficiency because it's going to almost definitely be good enough for this pack. I hope. If it's not, ugh, disgusting. Anyways, what we're gonna do is make some endo flames so we can begin producing a little bit of mana. And that is the recipe for an endo flame: prosperity, inferium, mystical light gray, mystical red, and 2 mystical browns. And then you just need to throw in seeds, and I have this issue where I don't actually have any seeds. So I'm gonna go ahead and just bone meal the seeds that I do have in our farm a couple of times. And since our petal apothecary will go right here, and that'll be our last major Botania automation, probably. Oop, this looks like this guy's done. I can turn him off. And do we have a decent amount of things here? At least like 13. At least like 15 of each. Oh, because I used a bunch of these. At least like 15 of each of them. So that should be good now. Good for now. But since the petal apothecary is going to go here, the big automation it requires, It's a decently sized structure to automate this thing. I don't remember exactly how I do it, but it takes up some space. We'll probably do mana generation over in this huge chunk right here. And for now, we're gonna go very simple, and we're just gonna have 8 endo flames. And the way I like to do this is I like to set them up like that, and then we can throw coal in the center. And this is the basic usual setup I like to use. Sorry, zombie. We have 8 endo flames. We have a dropper or dispenser of some kind, a timer that is set to 100 ticks because coal has a burn time of 1600 ticks. However, the endo flames burn the item for half of the fuel time, so we need to drop 8 times as fast as 800, which is 100, which is also the default setting of the timer. And then all these guys are linked up. Using either your wand to link to the mana spreader thing. I messed things up. And then spreading into a mana splitter. Somehow I think I got 2 mana something or mana steel from a loot bag, so I can just make this. It usually requires 2 mana steel to make. And then we split into 3 separate mana pools. One of these mana pools will be linked up to our runic altar at some point. But we don't have wildwood chunks yet, so we can't really place it down because we can't really craft it. Anyways, all I need to do now is I'm gonna throw 8 on the ground and throw a bunch in there, and it should suck those up. Yep, and then it'll throw 1 down every 100 ticks because approximately every 100 ticks this thing will finish. Or I guess it's gonna throw 8 on the ground and then it'll all get sucked up at the same time. Also acceptable. The endo flames are incredibly slow, so they produce mana at basically 0 per tick. I think it's like 1 actually, so the mana spreader can keep up with 8 of them comfortably. Could probably keep up with 16 of them if I wanted to, but I can just let this run and we'll pick up a bunch of mana over time. And I just went ahead and hooked this guy up to the ME system really quickly just to give it coal automatically. So I never have to worry about this system. It will just produce mana for me until the end of time. And I put my wand away, so can I have that back, please? Please put it in slot 1. And as you can see, we've gained about 1/20th, maybe 1/30th of a mana pool. A little bit of the mana from this one has gone into the mana spreader. The mana spreader actually holds a pretty significant chunk of mana, and the higher tiers hold even more. So, so what's next? Okay, so I think it's finally time to come back to our agricraft area and set up that auto farm. Now that we have access to Botania and I can make the phantom lens with a little bit of nested crafting and the messenger lens and the mana spreaders required for it, as well as the drum of the wild, which I already made, it's time to get automatically harvesting crops. I'm going to... Oh, do I have to place these underneath the irrigation channels? That's a bit annoying. I'm going to set up a 9x9 farm here, and that'll be 81 separate crops. The chances of us needing more than 1 type of each crop is pretty slim, except for maybe, like, I don't know, maybe Infernium. Maybe we need a ton of Infernium in the endgame. I don't really know. But 81 separate crops should be good enough, and this farm should hold us over. At worst case scenario, we just expand it by 1 block, and I think we'll be okay. So, if you want to have 2 lenses stuck to the same lens, also known as a composite mana lens apparently, you just need to put a slime ball between them, and then it'll have the effects of both of them. I want the messenger and the phantom, as I mentioned before, because messenger makes the mana burst not, like, be very much, and then the phantom lens makes it just activate blocks. It doesn't use mana inside blocks. I definitely explained that horribly. However, small little baby issue, mana tablets are incredibly expensive. Let me show you the recipe. 2 runes of wrath, which is runes of earth and runes of winter, which requires all of this, which requires plutonium, and cyanite, which are things we don't have yet. Cakes, packed ice, snow, we already have actually. And then I need a rune of water, which is all of this. I need a rune of earth, which is all of this. And all of these items get used up, except for the runes in the crafting. But all of these items get used up for the tier 1 runes. And these guys, pretty obnoxious to make at this point, because I haven't set up recipes for all of them yet. Anyways, that means we need to produce a little bit of mana on site here, and they won't use that unless I give them a mana spreader. I'm going to have to place them back down because they're not linked, and I don't feel like linking them by hand. And now they should be linked, right? Yes, I'll link that to that, and I'll give them a stack of coal to get to work. And now, do you hear that awful, horrible, terrible, no good sound? That's the Drum of the Wild being activated like twice a second because there's a little bit of mana in here. And I did a terrible job explaining what these lenses do. Basically, Phantom means it passes through objects, so it'll pass through the Drum of the Wild into this mana pool, and then it gets sent back into this mana spreader, and this mana spreader will send it back because it also has a Phantom lens. Messenger lens makes it move faster, and allows it to go further without losing any mana lens, it allows it to like activate blocks and stuff and goes further and all that kind of stuff without losing any potency because it's just quite good. I don't know. I'll let this thing gather a little bit, and I'm gonna grab my Infernium seeds actually. These aren't level 10, 10, 10, are they? It also literally doesn't matter because those aren't Infernium seeds, those are dye seeds, and we don't need that much dye. So what I think we can do is place some crop sticks down, place the dye seeds, and as they grow, they should get harvested. Perfect. Now we're just going to need a way to collect things from this farm, because if we leave things on the ground, they will crash our world very quickly. And for now, that's all we've got. Infernium, I've gotten in the habit of saying Infernium. It's Inferium, and dye. And I just need to plant this Inferium seed over here somewhere and get going. So now we should have effectively as much Inferium and dye essence as we need. Eventually, there is going to become an issue where, one, this thing can't keep up. It might already not be able to keep up, so I'm going to need to put extract speed upgrades in there. And two, I'm going to need to filter this system right here, because this specific drawer controller is going to be things that don't get compacted down into their forms because we want to use them as dye essence, or as their essence, in order to make multiple different things. Like, we want to have dye essence available to craft all sorts of dyes whenever we need them. And Inferium, it just comes straight up from the plant in the correct form. But, like, if we get, say, iron essence, we can't use iron essence directly, and we don't want to craft it on demand because that would be obnoxious. So we're going to want to take this, use an auto crafter of some kind, and turn it into the iron ingots. That'll be an issue for another time. I've done a ton of progress in this video already. However, I don't think it's very long, and I have been recording for a while. So why don't we do a little bit of Divine RPG, because this always provides us with, you know, a little bit of progression and not that difficult of clips. So to spawn the Sunstorm, which I need in order to make these Eden blocks, I'm going to need 5 of them, it appears. That's unfortunate. I didn't quite look at this correctly. We need to click on this thing with an Eden chunk. Oh, I can just spawn a bunch of them here. And then I shoot him a bunch with my arrows because they're way too strong. And he dies. Okay, so let me collect 5 of these. Oh, he might kill me. 5 of these, and I'll be right back. Oh, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Thank you. Okay, and here we go. After a little bit more work, I'm only missing glowstone to make these Eden blocks, and that should take us to Wildwood, I think. Wait, actually, I have a little bit of glowstone. I just need to pulverize it. Right? This is how this works. Slow. Fast. That is not a sag mill. Fast. Perfect. Okay, there's the portal all built up, and I think it just lights like this. Yep, and since it's blue, we should get taken to Wildwood? I think? Yes, this appears to be Wildwood. Okay, so we need to capture a guy from here, same as usual, and start spawning him. You know what, though? Why don't we save that for next time? I've been playing for a while, and I'm kind of burnt out on playing this pack for some time, so I think I'm going to go play some Multi-Block Madness, because that pack is actually incredibly fun. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, maybe leave a like or something. Sorry if this video is a little bit rambly, a little bit off the normal route. I'm quite tired. I haven't been able to catch up on sleep after I drove home from school the other day, and I only ended up getting like 3 hours of sleep that night, so, you know, it's a struggle. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and bye-bye.